What's something about you that sounds fake but is 100% true?
At my peak, I was almost certainly in the top 1% of cherry pickers worldwide, pounds picked per season, and also per day. Personal record is 2,700 pounds in about 8 hours.
I'm sorry, but I think you might just be cherry-picking your stat.
I wish this got the recognition you deserve.
I went apple picking once for like 45 minutes, filled half a bag, and felt like I'd done a hard day's work. 2,700 pounds? You must have been seeing cherries in your sleep for weeks after that season. The Tetris effect on that must be brutal. If I were you, I'd never shut up about it. Lol. You bet your ass I'm mentioning it anytime I can. Lol.
I once won a costume contest that I didn't enter. The kicker? I wasn't wearing a costume.
Just learned how to ride a bike at 30. Literally last week. It's the proudest moment for me. And I have a Ph.D, LMAO. Childhood things you achieve as an adult just mean more. When I was 12 years old, I pitched a perfect game playing for my Little League team. 18 batters faced, 18 strikeouts. I didn't even know what a perfect game was. I thought I had a no-hitter going. After the final strikeout, everyone came and jumped on me and told me what I did. They didn't mention it during the game to not jinx it. Ended up with a nice trophy, local media attention, and got to be in Sports Illustrated for Kids. Turns out, one had never happened in my state for my age range that they could find. I tell people now, they don't believe me until I show them the trophy in my man cave. Fun time. 18 strikeouts? Holy crap! There's not even a word for that. Edit. My mistake. There is, in fact, a word for that.
I'm in double digits for the number of staircases I've fallen down. Not just a trip. I've broken a few bones.
I need more than 2 hands to count how often I almost died in my life. Also cannot ride a bike.
I both failed out of college and graduated with honors. My husband almost failed high school, but had a 3.94 for his college degree. He was too smart and thus completely bored in high school. Not challenged enough, clearly autistic and ADHD, but never diagnosed. Dropped out of high school and graduated from college at 19. Met my wife while I was homeless and unemployed. I've been a rocket scientist and also a spy. All of those come with some explaining, but are true. I once was invited to the bridge of the Disney Magic cruise ship and turned the ship's wheel while in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So I've technically driven a car, truck, airplane, and cruise ship. I know over 20 people who were either murdered or are in prison for murder. I worked in a bank in South Africa and had to set up for the board meeting. I used the chairman's elevator to get there quickly. The doors opened, and there was the chairman and Nelson Mandela. I slid on ice while driving and hit a tree, totaling the car and giving myself a mild concussion and bruises. The hospital called the next day after reviewing the x-rays to tell me I had broken my eye socket. In the follow-up appointment with an ENT, I learned that I actually had a cyst that had been eating away at my eye socket. It would have caused blindness if not caught in time. Sometimes hitting a tree is a miracle. I was born in the middle of nowhere in the Mojave Desert a week after Friday the 13th on a full moon. There was a known occult coven in the area that was rumored to steal and murder newborns on full moons. My parents didn't know if this was true or not, but just in case, my father spent my first night in this world sitting sentinel by my crib with a shotgun on his lap and our pet coyote by his side, watching and waiting. I'm a twin, and we both have scars from separate accidents on the same part of our bodies. I was sliced, and he was impaled. Both were deep wounds and required going to the ER for lots of stitches. These events occurred about 15 years apart. Me and a cousin, on the exact same day, at the exact same hour, in different parts of town, nowhere near each other, both went down a hill sitting on a skateboard, and both smashed our faces in when the skateboards crashed. His wheel caught on rope, mine caught in a hole in the ground. I've had exorcisms performed on me.
I grew up in the charismatic church, where they believe every ailment is caused by a demon. I had depression, anxiety, and ADHD, which were supposedly caused by demons. So on more than one occasion, they did deliverance sessions to try to cast the demons out of me. Disappointingly, nothing happened. Later in life, I found out demons hate Adderall and Prozac.
Hey, my demons hate Adderall too.
Very briefly dated a girl nearly 20 years ago who had a similar upbringing. She ran away at like 17 from her deeply religious and abusive family, but for most of her teen years had been dragged around the country to a number of religious kooks to have exorcisms performed on her. It was extremely uncomfortable to hear about at the time. My mom's friend had an exorcism performed on my sibling, who actually has depression, anxiety, and unspecified attention disorder, without my mom's knowledge or permission. The friend thought it was fine because she was my sibling's godmother. Mom cut her off after a 20-plus year friendship over it. I wonder if the friend was a member of that church. I never thought I'd see someone else post a similar experience to me, except for me, it was the Catholic Church. My mom is a fundamentalist, and they later told her I had the spirit of a little girl they had extracted from me. My mental health issues came afterwards, though. She was convinced I had to have been mentally unwell to renounce my faith before any of the nonsense, which led to the exorcisms, and I'm the crazy one.
I misdialed a friend's number in the 1980s, but got the person I wanted at the wrong number. She was at her uncle's house.
Lol, this is not getting the recognition it deserves. This is hilarious.
It's crazy to think that when I was young in the 80s, everyone in my town had the same 3 numbers at the beginning of the phone number. We never needed an area code unless you were dialing long distance. As awesome as this story is, this was a lot more possible then.
My friend tried to call me, dialed my number. A lady answered a town over, and he asked if my name was there. She said, "One moment," and a girl came on the line who has the exact same first name as me. After he hung up, he clicked redial, and I answered. He still thinks I was playing a prank on him.
I misdialed in the 1990s. My crush's home number was 1 digit off from my mom's house phone number. I didn't know that at the time. My crush answered the phone and we started hanging out. It didn't end well, but I was super excited when he asked me to come over that day.
My name is Justin, and I have an older brother also named Justin. My husband was also named the same as his brother until his mom saw sense and legally changed it. I know 2 dudes like that, although the name isn't Justin. Same dad, different moms. Both moms wanted to name them after the dad. I have a friend, let's call him Justin. His middle name is Rick. He has a younger brother, Rick Justin. Their dad's name is Rick Justin. Creativity isn't a strong feature in their family. I once failed every single class in high school and had to repeat the year. Somehow got into a good university with my story of failing high school. Got good grades in college and grad school, got a good job at a top tech company, became a tech fellow in the company, and also a part-time teaching professor at a top university. I have an obscure qualification that would allow me to manually calculate plane tickets if the power went out in an airport. I live in a country of only 17 million people. I once made a stupid animation video, put it on YouTube, and somehow it got more than 1 million views. A few years later, I made an album with 2 other guys. One of my songs somehow got more than 1 million streams on Spotify. We also did a TV gig with that band. More than 1 million people have watched that. Most of the people I know have no idea. Edit, if I would link the video and/or song, I would dox myself. Not gonna do that. Mosquitoes are afraid of me. I can walk directly into a swarm and they'll split and fly away. This provides mosquito protection to me and anyone in about 2 feet in any direction. My wife enjoys this superpower.
Why? Do you give off some kind of chemical?
Can I hire you to stand next to me 24/7 for 3 to 4 months during the summer? I've been diagnosed by a psychologist with an extremely strange form of hyperthymesia. I cannot forget information relating to a human. Names, dates, addresses, faces, entire conversations verbatim, feelings, they do not fade or leave my memory. Ever. This only applies to real people. Fictional people just don't trigger it for some reason. In other subjects, my memory is rather mediocre. It started when I was 4, and I can recall anything related to a person ever since with perfect recollection.
Speaking as somebody who can't remember names for shit and had known people for years without having their names down, I am jealous. I retain a bunch of information about their lives, but I won't remember their names.
Eminem called my mom's house to talk to me. A month later, Snow, the artist who sang Informer, called my mom's house to talk to me also.
I've discovered 2 new species of animal. I am not a scientist. I don't even have a job. When I was younger, my brother and I would try to beat Super Mario World as fast as possible and use a stopwatch to time it. Years later, we found the internet has speedrun records and learned our times on the unmodded console were between 3rd and 4th for the world. That's actually really impressive. My education stopped in the 4th grade because my parents were neglectful and abusive. They were tired of CPS coming around, so they took us 1,000 miles away and homeschooled me and my siblings. Except we didn't get the luxury of school or any education, so we just waited for time to pass. I left that state a while ago, and a few years ago I enrolled in community college. I scored so low on the college AccuPlacer exam that I was in the absolute earliest math class available, and out of 300, scored 270 and 280 for reading and writing. Passed the first math class with a high B, failed second math class because it was too much material all the time, and barely passed the second time. Otherwise, 3.8 GPA. I am in nursing school now.
I was kidnapped twice, and I also went to high school with Keanu. Edited to add, holy shit, way too many of us have been kidnapped, and also I wasn't expecting this comment to turn into an AMA, so please accept my apologies if I don't respond to everyone. Also, you are all so sweet with your kind comments.
Twice? By the same person each time, or not?
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It really helps. Subscribe for more, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one.